Drinking with Authors may contain adult content. Listener discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, I am Nick Savage, author, artist, crazy person who will be hosting tonight's episode of Drinking with Authors, sponsored by Four Horsemen Publications. And tonight we have not one, but two authors. I'm going to let them introduce themselves and tell a bit about their books, and then we will get into the rest of it. But ladies, take it away.
I'm Janice Sommers.
And I'm Leslie Sommers, and we're the authors of the Amulet Series. The first book in the series is called Breed Reborn, and our stories are about a girl from New Jersey who discovers that she's a descendant of a Scottish weather goddess, and she needs to find a magical weather-controlling amulet before the other side of the family does, or the world will be plagued into eternal darkness.
That is a wonderful sounding series. I have not had a chance to read it yet, but I have been wondering for a long time how to say the name, because I am assuming it's an Irish name or a Scottish name with the GH. Yeah.
So you can go either two ways with it based on the pronunciation. You can say either breed or bride. We call it breed. I've heard other people refer to it as bride. It's okay. And we do have in the back of our books a pronunciation guide, because we do put Scottish Gaelic in there to enhance the story.
I have Irish Gaelic in one of my series, so I do have the translation as well in the back. But I'm assuming you have it in the back and not in the middle of the story. Like, here's what they're saying, and in parentheses. It pulls me out when authors do that, so I appreciate that you have yours in the back of the book.
Of course.
I know we talked about it before we started recording that today we are taking it easy because we are not drinking today. But I will start. I am drinking an iced tea that is a whiskey pu'er, so at least it's whiskey flavored. So I can pretend I'm drinking with that. What are you ladies drinking?
I'm drinking hot tea.
Yeah.
Any specific flavor of tea, or just kind of whatever you randomly? Black tea is good. And you look like you have a soda.
No, I actually am drinking water with a cup that says my weekend is all booked.
Oh, very nice. Water is healthy. I've been told I should drink more of it. So as a duo writing team, I'm gonna start with a tough one that's not that tough. How organized do you have to be in your writing to make it work? Because there's two of you.
We have to be
very
organized. We discuss the plot and what's going to happen, and then she writes it, because I'm a little too old to write from a 18-year-old perspective.
But even further, with keeping our notes organized and our plot lines organized, we have a document sheet listed out, and it kind of looks like a murder board just written on a document. Like, things are crossed out, things are highlighted, there's different colors, different fonts, there's things are in bold, and it's just to make sure that we are hitting all of the plot points that we need to hit, and it's making sure that we don't miss anything on the way out.
So all of your plotting and prepping is done on the computer. You don't do you're not the index card people who's writing and popping them up somewhere.
No, it's a lot easier to delete something off of a Word document than to throw out an index card, and it's better for the environment.
I understand that. I use old business cards, because why waste them? I can at least reuse them again before throwing them into the wild. So you said that you are plotters. Is there anything that you leave to chance when writing, or do you have, before you start writing out the story, do you have everything that you possibly think you can plotted?
I don't think it's everything.
Oh no, yeah, we definitely leave some stuff to chance, because sometimes, as you know, as an author, the characters are like, we're not doing this. Write something else.
Yeah, they go in a different direction.
And I definitely understand that. I was having a talk with a friend of mine who works in Hollywood, and he's like, you have to force the characters to go where they need to go for the story. And I'm like, no, because then people start, and I think you might agree with me on this, if characters go in a direction that wouldn't be of their nature, you can tell it's forced, and you can see that the author, the writer, then at that point is trying to force it in a specific direction. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know.
I don't think so. I think we in our second book we had one of the main characters doing something very outlandish for the character that didn't make sense to their character art, nothing. And I remember saying to Mom, like, I wrote this scene, it doesn't feel right. I'm struggling. I don't know how to write outside of this, like this, but it doesn't feel right. And so we had to crowdsource a little bit to kind of help us get out of that corner that we wrote ourselves into. And thankfully, I have another author friend who I actually went to college with, and she worked for a veterinary hospital, and she's like, oh, instead of having this thing with a human do animals, a pig is actually very similar to a human body, so the testing, if you will, was on animals, but in a positive way. There was a healing aspect. It wasn't a murderous aspect.
Just quite the opposite of murder. Yes, you heal.
Yeah.
make better. So I'm changing gears a little bit, but staying with your books, is there a quote or a passage that you've written, either one of you or both of you, if you have your own, that sticks with you as kind of something that either isn't like encompassing of the entire, writing that you've done, or just something that a character has said or something like that, that is kind of like meaningful to you?
I off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. Yeah, because
that is okay. Sometimes it doesn't.
She probably has one. As I said, she does most of the writing.
Well, if it helps, there's a lot of, in the first book, there's a mother-daughter relationship in there, and a lot of that was based off of her. So there's a lot of similar things in there that my mother has done for me. So in a way of like an homage to her. So that probably resonates a little bit more, but she just doesn't remember it.
Okay, so then, no, then this is for you. Since you are the mother figure in the book, when you read her writing, how accurate do you think her homages to you are in the character, in terms of like being more objective looking at it, versus how much is it a child's interpretation of their mother?
Well, one of the things I had told her when we were writing the book, don't make the parents look stupid. Because I'm so tired of reading a book where parents are, they do stupid things, they don't understand or whatever. But I think she caught the essence of me as a mom. So there are some things, in the mom character that I've done, I see it, I know I've done it, it's that kind of thing.
So this brings up another question in my mind, and I think I already know your answer, since I kind of do the same thing with parents and don't like the stupid parents. Is there a trope that when you read it just makes you want to throw the book into a fireplace or put it down and just never finish it?
There was I told you about the book where it just annoyed me. The premise was the book where this millionaire wants to get married, so he picks somebody and he makes it like a job interview to be a secretary, and then all of a sudden she's married by proxy, and things that go on in the book. It's like, what are you doing? Because if that happened to me, I'd have killed the guy. It's like
she doesn't do well with the forced proximity, the romance books that are like hoodwinked kind of tropes.
Yeah,
she doesn't like those.
Well, what about you? What are your what trope makes you want to just put it down and be like, done?
Oh, miscommunication, for sure, and poorly written books. But
well, that's everybody wants to put.
That's not completely true. But no, and I mean this in a very kind way. But truthfully, if an author kind of has their character rambling for pages on end, but it doesn't feel. Oh, sorry, we're getting a house call, and it's not important. But anyway, we usually have they just have them ramble, and it doesn't do anything to the plot. That annoys me on so many levels, but specifically miscommunication, because that drives me absolutely bananas. Just talk. Be like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. And then you can probably unravel the entire thing. Because honestly, if that's all they need to do to fix the whole like third act breakup, then there was no need for a breakup.
I actually am not a big fan of miscommunication either. I was surprised she didn't say that the clueless parent with the, you know, genius child kind of trope, which I absolutely hate. I think if you have two dumb parents, you're not going to have a genius child. I don't think you're going to have that sort of environment, in which case you're going to nurture that sort of intelligence out of a child. But on the same note, I also don't think parents are nearly as clueless in life as kids make them out to be. But the miscommunication thing is true. I was actually talking about that the other day, where if people are friends, and I was talking about it with my wife, and we were watching something or discussing a book. I can't even remember what it was, but it was basically, if people are like, have known each other for so long, you're not going to keep certain secrets or certain information from the other person simply to advance a storyline, because if it was a real situation, there'd be no need to keep that from the other.
But there's
people.
a loophole to that. So in our situation, Bridget does not know that she has that she's the descendant, or is that she is the goddess breed reborn. She has no idea about this. And that was curated because her mother and her parents were trying to protect her. So they have known her entire life, and they were withholding this massive secret to keep her out of the line of fire, to protect her the best that they can. And that was a maternal and paternal instinct. So I think to a degree, yes, people shouldn't be keeping secrets from each other. You might not know them depending on how long you've known each other and how well you know each other. But in this case, I think that's a valid reason for a parent to not tell their child anything.
Oh, parents keep secrets from their child all the time. You know,
lied to me growing up left and right.
Well, I mean, they have to to a certain point. You know, the little things. You know, I don't know how many kids are watching this, so I might be ruining Christmas for them. But certain figures, you know, that aren't real, that, you know, come around once a year.
I got lied to about Burger King.
Yeah, she wanted to go to Burger King, and I told her it was closed, and she said there's people in there, and I told her it was the cleaning crew.
It was like 3:00 in the afternoon. I knew for a fact they were open.
And I told her
this is what I'm talking about. I got lied to as a child a lot.
But that's an easier way to say no, you're not going to eat food when there's healthier options, than trying to explain to a child that healthier options are what you're going to eat because they're healthier.
Had nothing to do with healthier. She didn't want to stop.
I didn't want to stop.
But that's also that's a valid reason.
Literally it. Listen, I'm a millennial, right? I'm a child of the 80s. There's none of that. There was no like, let's eat healthier. It was like fat free by the 90s, but not in my house.
And I just found out about 4 years ago that when she was sick and my husband would take her to the doctor, on the way home, they'd stop at Burger King or McDonald's. I don't know. And he would get her a hamburger, but she couldn't have cheese.
Which is fine. I hate
But I just found this out.
That's all I was really sick, and I was like, I don't know if I can drive myself. Can you take me to the doctor? She did. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I really wish I could get Burger King right now. And she was like, you're sick. Why are you eating junk food, like fast food? I don't get it. And I was like, Daddy used to take me. And she was like, what?
I never knew.
Yeah. After, I was like, when I was a child, why do you think I always wanted him to take me to the doctor? We would come back from the doctor. It was always around lunchtime, so he would be hungry, and we'd have to share a diet soda because my father was a diabetic. Not a problem. And I couldn't get fries, and I was allowed to get a little hamburger. So
there's nothing wrong. When you're sick, you don't want to eat. Like, I mean, some people like the chicken soup, you know, when they're sick and stuff, because it does have the nutrients. When I am sick, I want like greasy, fat, salty foods. Like,
I'm the same way.
Apparently, it's the same way.
So yeah, that's how I was lied to as a child, and it was
very funny when I found
and she was lied to as well. So my parents knew each other for, you know, over 40 years, and he never told her that.
It was a secret.
But you have to. That was a good father-daughter relationship, you know.
Yes.
It's a good little secret to have.
I honestly thought she knew.
Well,
She-
my husband and I had decided we would do things with both, Leslie and my son Eric separately. Be a Mother's Day or a Father's Day, that it didn't matter. We would take them out of school to do that. They take one day. They wouldn't go to school, and we would do whatever they wanted. Go to the movies, go to the library, whatever
I
they.
think she skipped that with me and just did it with my brother. I never missed school for this. It was always on the weekends. And it was mostly because my brother was into sports and they knew I didn't want to go. So my mom would be like, Daddy's going to take Eric somewhere. You and I are going to go clothes shopping or go to the movies or something and get lunch. It would be a mommy and me day. It was never during, no. She was a school teacher. The education was too important in this house.
What did you teach?
I'm certified to teach nursery school through 8th grade. And I taught kindergarten and 2nd grade.
Oh, you had little ones.
Yeah. I didn't want to teach anybody taller than I was.
No. Kindergarten's good because you also get a nap time when the kids get.
No,
Preschool does.
Preschool had nap time because they were there all day, but not kindergarten was a half day. But you could tell the thing that I thought was pretty funny. You could tell them almost anything and they would believe you.
Yeah.
Because you're the teacher.
They would run out, like when I drove up and they were outside, some of the kids would, help me carry a bag in or something. And then they would ask me, how did I get there? During the day, they would ask, well, how did you get here? And I said, I see the broom over there. I flew in on a broom. I met a kid who I taught in the 2nd grade. He was in high school and he mentioned that you always flew in on a broom.
See, she didn't limit the lying to just her own children.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story. She lied to a lot of different kids.
I just thought it was funny because you helped me carry this stuff in, and now you didn't put 2 and 2 together. Okay.
It sticks with them though, like the things people say stick with them. I'm hoping by the time he got to high school, he realized you didn't actually fly in on a broom. If he did, he might need a little more help than he had gotten.
Yeah, there might be another problem.
Yeah, little extra attention might have been needed to be paid to him. No, my teachers either loved me or hated me. So when I was that age, my teachers still liked me. So it was you dealt with the good ages there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't talk back too often.
No, but they're scared of teachers at that age because especially like 2nd grade, you have to start telling them, it's learning because preschool and kindergarten is all play. Here's your blocks, here's your writing.
Not in New Jersey.
Oh my God. I went to a Catholic school. It was all playtime and like learning how to print your
public
name and
school. The kids had to be able to recognize money. They didn't have to add it together, but they had to recognize the denominations of money.
Anymore.
And they had to read a simple text.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Now it's just they have to be able to write their own name. That's it. And recognize their ABCs and numbers up to 20, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
And that's to graduate 8th grade?
That's, yes.
Yeah.
Not in New Jersey, but yeah, in some of the places.
It was very strange.
Anyway.
No, that is definitely okay. So here's a question for you to bring us back to author stuff. And this is a generalized question, but is there something you think is true of all authors?
We don't know how to read.
No, they don't.
We don't read directions.
We don't read. Yeah.
We can't read and comprehend
Read
directions.
Directions?
Yeah.
Like putting together IKEA furniture or
like hey, you're coming to a convention, or hey, you're coming here. Please note, you can't do XYZ, or please make sure you do XYZ. And they still don't do it. And they go, I don't understand. Can I do XYZ? And it's like, it tells you. Did you read the thing? And you signed the document. Did you not read it? Yeah. It's infamously known that writers write, but don't read.
And that I will give you that, because I will sign up for shows and do those things, sign everything. I will not know when they are. I will sign up for a show and not know when it is until my wife finally puts it in my Google Calendar for me. And I'm like, oh, I have a show in 2 weeks. She's like, you signed up for this. How do you not know? Because I just signed up. I didn't read it.
Oh, 150%.
And now I get to tell her that it's all authors and not just me.
It's like
it's not us. We read everything. We follow directions
as close as we can. Sometimes I skip a thing once or twice.
Yeah, but...
For example, the standing sign, as I was explaining before.
Yeah. Now, what can you tell me what show that's coming up?
Yes. So that is coming up on November 8th in Broadheadsville, Pennsylvania. It's a bookish affair. It's going to have over, I think, no, that's not right. It's going to have a lot of authors. Like, I want to say 20 plus, a whole bunch of us and bookish vendors and things of that nature. There is going to be food there. We'll be there doing book signings and selling our books. We're pretty excited. I actually have a couple of author friends that are going to be there as well. So it's really nice. We get to meet up again.
Yeah.
Now, do you travel? Like, do you stay in state or do you like to travel out of state as well?
So Broadheadsville's in the Poconos, which is an hour from us. So we're not going to stay in state, but we will stay if we travel. What was it? We just had the Maryland Renaissance Fair book signing, and we stayed down in Maryland.
We went a day before.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me like I don't know geography. Hint, I don't know geography. I am 45 years old and just learned that New Jersey is on the ocean shore and not one of the Great Lakes shores. So this is 45 years into life. That's how bad my geography is. Yeah, you can laugh.
You're American. It's fine.
Yeah. How far? Now, the Poconos is an hour away. How far is Maryland when you were there? Like, is that because, like, in Illinois, you can drive 8 hours and still be in Illinois? How far was that drive to Maryland for you?
We're closer to the top of New Jersey. We're north, but the top of New Jersey down to the bottom of New Jersey, like going from New York down to Delaware, is 2.5 hours, 3 hour drive, give or take.
Oh, God.
So we're not like a super long state, which is kind of nice. But on those trips home, you're like, oh my God, I'll never make it back.
Yeah, if we lived here, we'd be home now.
Yeah, we do. We play that game a lot, actually. But no, going to the Maryland Renaissance Fair is about 3 hours from us, 3.5, depending on traffic. And we do get there pretty quickly, but then we kind of like take our time. We stop for lunch. We have friends in the area. We have family. We'll go say hi, see them, and then we'll make it to the hotel and go from there.
We've driven to Virginia.
Yeah.
We've driven to Ohio.
Kentucky.
Ohio's far, and I know Ohio's far from you.
Yeah, 8 hours. Well,
8 hours is now like a there and back in 1 day trip.
No, we didn't do that in 1 day.
Yes, we did.
We did 8 hours in 1 day?
Yeah, we drive to Raleigh in 1 day. We drive to Columbus in 1 day.
No, we stayed over.
No, we didn't stay over when we went to Columbus.
Oh, no, we didn't.
We didn't stay over anywhere.
Oh, that is intense. You are slightly insane. That is.
I do all the drive.
She does the drive.
I'm a road trip girl, so it doesn't faze me. We did the 11-hour drive from our house to Louisville, and we came back, and I was like, I didn't feel like that was 11 hours. And my mother was like, are you kidding me? I felt every hour.
That was 11.
She's like, what is wrong with you?
I told her we're not doing it anymore.
When I lived in Chicago, I had to drive from Chicago to New York in one trip, no stopping besides gas and food.
Right.
And that was insane. Beautiful drive, but absolutely insane. And I got lost going because you have to like hit Jersey on I-80 before you get to New York. And then I got lost in their system. So the trip took me an extra hour and a half because the New York highway systems were a little confusing to my GPS at the time. But absolutely beautiful drive. But that takes some heart to drive 11 hours. Like, oh, it's just an 11-hour drive. I'm like,
yeah, I remember her saying that and thinking to myself, I don't know. I felt every one of those hours.
It didn't.
No. You did mention you did a show in Louisville. Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you. Can I ask what? You know what? No. Yeah, I don't want to ask that. Did you like doing a show in Louisville?
We loved Louisville. The convention wasn't our favorite, but I don't think it was Louisville. I think it was literally just the convention. There was some confusion. I think there was other events going on, so that event didn't have a lot of attendees. But it was actually kind of cool because we got to meet other 4-HP authors in person. We got to meet Chelsea Burton Dunn for one, and we adore her completely. We got to meet other authors that were not necessarily local or part of 4-HP, and I still talk with them. So it was nice. We got to like meet other people. I got to meet Erica in person finally, and I got to meet Val Willis in person finally. So it was a good trip, even if it didn't result in a lot of sales. It resulted in a lot of good friendships.
And that's sometimes a nice thing to have, even if the sales themselves aren't there. If you go to a show and the sales aren't there and the people are just you're not vibing with the people, that's just a bad experience across the board. But at least you had, some good people to meet. I got told this from someone while I was there. We were pronouncing it wrong, even though it's Louisville, just Louisville.
You're supposed to like choke on the word.
Yeah,
I'm from New Jersey. Like, I don't care.
Exactly. I'm from Chicago, and as long as people don't say Chicago, I'm okay with that. Like the soft AU sound, Chicago. I'm like, no, Chicago. But I also get asked about my accent sometimes because the more I talk about Chicago, the thicker it gets.
Oh yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah, and it gets really bad, but it's fun, to have pride in where you're from. So that's all the people in Louisville were doing, is having pride in where they're from.
Oh,
so at least when I'm talking about it on like recordings or something like that, I'll try and say it properly. I won't, but I'll try. And I guess trying is more important than that.
The attempt is there. Listen, we're from New Jersey. Everyone makes fun of us for something or another. I mean, we're saddled with Jersey Shore. Yeah. And those accents are not New Jersey. They're all from New York.
They're all from,
And what I've understand from everyone I've talked to who's from Jersey, even if they're from the Jersey Shore, they're all like, that show is not representative of us.
No. It's not. It's actually deeply hurtful to our reputation.
It's one of those things where I'm like, if people are that against it, I will say, okay, I won't judge, by that show. I'm not a big reality TV show fan. I don't know if you are. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing no. Janice, not a real. No.
I fall asleep.
Do you, in general, like watching TV, or just during reality TV?
It depends.
It depends on the people. If I watch reality, my thought process is, why are you doing that? What are you thinking? It's like, but then again, I'm an older person. I have a different mindset of what they may be experiencing.
She was alive before TVs were made.
Yeah.
She is no.
I have black and white TV. I have black and white TV.
Close enough.
Do
you actually have a black and white TV?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. But you do.
But I remember this. I remember I was old enough to remember the sign off. At the end of the day when you get the blank space kind of thing.
And then after a while, that blank space was taken up by infomercials. And the infomercials were all the rage for insomniacs.
I loved infomercials as a child because I was always up at like 4:00 in the morning. So I was allowed to watch TV, and that's all it was.
As long as she didn't talk to me, I don't care what she was doing. Because I was so sleepy.
I was a Captain Planet kid at 4 a.m. or whenever they came on. I loved Captain Planet. It was so bad.
Same. He's good.
So, question for you, because I still want you to be able to talk about your books and all this shameless self-promotion. But one question I've been asking everyone since the second episode that I started recording, for both of you, what advice besides don't do it would you give to aspiring writers?
I tell them to just do it.
Which is the opposite of what I tell them, which is don't do it. You say just do it.
Just do it because
she's getting endorsed by Nike for this.
Yes.
The paycheck's coming in.
You may not be a published author. You may not think, but somebody is going to read it. And if it's only your mom and dad or your cousins or somebody's going to read it.
And then I add on to that with, if you're going to do it, make sure you get yourself a really, really good developmental editor because they are worth their weight in gold.
And do you have a developmental editor you still work with outside of the editors at Four Horsemen?
Yeah, yes. She's been with us since the very inception of this book. When it was originally completed, we sent it over to her. Alexa Bitsko, she's amazing. She's helped us through this entire journey, and we've given her shout outs in her books because that's how wonderful she is.
And for anyone listening, say her name again.
Alexa Bitsko, Bitsko.
Thank you, because I could not, spell that for the life of me.
I figured.
Alexa Bitsko, and she is your developmental, and you've loved her, so that is a good recommendation to have.
For sure.
Give me some shameless self-promotion. Where can we find your books, find your websites, find you on social medias, not stalk you in real life, but stalk you on internet? Where can we do all these things?
So we have our website, leslieandjanicesommers.com. Social media, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. We have a Substack email list that's growing. That's also going to be, it's probably going to be LJ or Leslie and Janice. I don't remember what I set it up as at the moment, but all of that is linked to our Instagram account. So if you follow LJ Sommers author, I don't remember my own information anymore. But if you find us, I know 4HB tags us and stuff.
Yeah.
If you find us there, if you type in like LJ author or LJ Sommers author or author LJ Sommers, one of the two. I've switched it recently, which is why I can't remember things anymore. You can find it on our link tree there. All of that stuff is linked.
And if push comes to shove and they can't, they can go to the Four Horsemen Publications website, look you up, and find your socials all on there.
Yes. And what's super great is that additionally, you can find our books at Four Horsemen on Amazon, at Walmart.com, at Target.com, basically where you can buy your books from major many retailers. That's where you can find our stuff.
And how many books are in your series currently available?
3.
And they are?
They are Breed Reborn, Breed Redefined, Breed Restricted, and then we are working on the 4th one, which is hopefully going to edits at the end of this month.
Okay, so then a few more months then before pre-orders and everything like that,
Yeah.
But you're getting there with that. Is it going to have a definitive end of the series, even if the world's still open, or are you going to do the 30, 40 books in the series kind of thing that other authors have done?
No. This is going to be a definitive end.
Definitive. Do you know how many books you're looking to have in the series, or are you leaving that open?
Just 4 as of right now.
Nice.
There might be some prequels we discuss, but I think right now we're just going to put the main storyline to bed, and then we can revisit it when we've taken some time off.
Always a good plan. Are you a fan? One last thing before we go, because you said you have a definitive end. Are you a fan of series that stay open and just continually write 30, 40 books about the same character? Or do you like to have an end game, for the characters and stuff like that, where they can say bye to them eventually?
Personally, I don't care if the books are 30 or 40 books, but they all have to be out, because if I'm reading one book and something, you get to the end of it and I go, what next? I can get that next book. I'm not very patient.
I think it depends on the series for me. I really like the Shadow Me series, and that ended. And then I think in 2014, 15, 16, 17, I don't know. Recently, she decided to bring that series back and continue the world. And then now she has spinoffs of it, and I'm just devouring them. I love it. But then there's other authors who have other series that are 30 books, and I've read all 30 books. And if they, like my mom, if they were all out at the first, when they first came all out and I first started reading the series, I would have devoured them all. But now it's been like, okay, I got up to 25. A year later is 26. I'm kind of losing interest. 27, 28, 29, 30. I'm like, I don't think I care anymore.
Yeah.
I completely understand that, because I think people are like that, especially with television nowadays, with series seasons being 2 and 3 years apart instead of the 8 months like they were back in the 80s and 90s and even the 2000s.
The good old days.
The good old days.
I know we covered a lot with a lot of topics in the show, so thank you for keeping up with me. I know it can be a little random, but I think we had a fun time, and I want to thank you both for being here. It has been a pleasure, and I want to thank everyone for watching. And until next time, Thank you, everyone, and be good.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Thank you for listening to Drinking with Authors. Join us next time for another fun conversation with an author over drinks.